Conspiracy theories are exploding after the latest bizarre Trump MRI news. At some point, we just have to ask, does anyone believe this crap? So the White House now admits that Donald Trump got on MRI, not because of a stroke, not because of chest pain, not because of any symptom. They say it was a preventative MRI. And even doctors are saying that this is bullshit. I got a bunch of emails from physicians in the US and around the world. They all say, with the exception of these executive full body MRIs, Prenuvo and others, you don't really do preventative MRIs. And if you do, they are whole body MRIs. You don't just go and say, we're going to check out the cardiovascular system and the abdomen for no reason, just for no reason whatsoever. A top internal medicine doctor from Northwestern says this isn't standard. Trump's 79, fine, but there is no guideline, specialty, or a standard of care that would say this is an MRI that you do just preventatively. There is a reason we don't just stick people into MRI machines preventatively, not to mention that even with these full body MRIs that are very popular among the elites these days, you can find meaningless things and suddenly you're treating problems that aren't problems with increasingly invasive tests, and you can actually end up doing harm. That's the big picture. Okay, so let's go to a medical opinion about what the White House has said relative to what standard of care is for MRI given Trump's age and known underlying medical situation.
To discuss, CNN medical analyst Dr. Jonathan Reiner. He was late Vice President Dick Cheney's cardiologist for nearly 30 years. Doctor, thanks so much for being with us. Walk us through what a preventative cardiac MRI entails.
Well, there really is no preventative cardiac MRI. This is not a standard test for an 80-year-old man to undergo advanced imaging. Of course, the whole note has kind of a weird and defensive, evasive tone to it. First of all, this is not part of the president's comprehensive physical examination. He had that in April, and then he underwent some more testing in July. If you look at his first administration, the president, like most presidents, only underwent one comprehensive physical exam every year. So this comes, completely off cycle. Second, it's filled with euphemisms. Again, Dr. Barbara Bella, the president's physician, states that he underwent advanced imaging. Well, what specific advanced imaging did the president have? Was it an MRI, as the president said? Was it a CT? Did he have both? Why not just spell it out? It's as if a patient came in for a chest X-ray, and then I only told people that the patient underwent simple radiologic imaging. Just spell it out. This is, again, not part of comprehensive screening, particularly, abdominal imaging. Why would someone undergo preventative MRI imaging or CT imaging of the abdomen? This obviously was performed in response to some clinical concern, which is fine. Things happen to people as we all get older, and the president is almost 80. So instead of this kind of evasive, almost laughable kind of note, just spell out what happened. I hope the imaging is normal and great. That would be excellent news. But this kind of piece by piece, drip by drip release of information is disconcerting.
What's fascinating about what we just heard is that his analysis is the same one that I gave yesterday, and I have no medical training. Now, this is not me patting myself on the back. It's that it is this obvious that the note about Trump's MRI doesn't make any sense. It all stinks to high heaven. And by the way, Trump already had a physical in April. Since when do we do full presidential physicals every 6 months? Like, why is this happening? Why is the MRI suddenly urgent? And then it gets even weirder because the White House isn't really being clear about what kind of MRI it was. Remember, we did not get a medical report. Even though the White House says we did, we got a note editorializing what was done. And it says it was evaluating Trump's cardiovascular and abdominal parts of the body or whatever. That's not really the way we describe MRIs. And if you're trying to stop conspiracy theories, dripping these vague statements like it's Watergate certainly doesn't help. Now, Trump's doctor says that everything is excellent, but we still aren't really being told what the scan was for. And CNN's Jonathan Reiner, who treated Dick Cheney, like you heard there, is basically laughing at the explanation and saying there is no preventative cardiac MRI. Now, one note that I got from a doctor in the audience says that if you're doing physicals every 6 months and so-called preventative MRIs, 9 times out of 10, you are monitoring an underlying aortic aneurysm. Now, we have, again, no idea whether that's what's going on with Donald Trump because there is no transparency. But it's very clear that this leaves a lot to be desired. This shouldn't be that complicated. If the imaging was normal, just say exactly what was scanned and show the actual report. You don't usually hide benign findings that are not going to worry anybody. And the real point, obviously, is that there's a long history of hiding his health for Trump. The letters written by Trump's doctor, Walter Reed trips that they tried to hide, the bizarre perfect health statements, and Trump would be the healthiest president ever. And every time they try to cover it up, everybody starts to assume the worst, and this is why you get these hypotheses that Trump's suffering a series of small strokes or that there's a cognitive issue, and then you add that to the weird bruising that Trump has on his hands. The administration keeps telling us Trump is fine, but the picture is one that raises a lot of concerns. So why the secrecy? Why now? And if Trump wants people to stop talking about medical issues that he may be having, don't hide the information. It's the worst possible strategy. Now, many of you noticed that now Trump is covering the makeup on his hands that is to cover bruises with bandages. So makeup to cover bruises, bandages to cover makeup. I noticed that. A lot of you noticed that, and we're going to talk about that after the break. Thanks for watching. Check out this other video. And if you like our content, make sure to subscribe so YouTube puts our videos in your feed, and subscribe to the podcast on Spotify and Apple.